We're over 4 decades old and, continuing to grow and continuing to expand as the city does diversify our audiences and really, provide a space for people to come and fulfill our mission when our mission is to celebrate the artist and everyone. It's really our purpose is to provide opportunities for people to express their personal creativity through art, through understanding, and do it in a way that's all inclusive and really doesn't provide any barriers for people. So we invite anybody to come to our campus and really see what we have going on.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Spotlight Houston, where we bring you the best of the people, places, and events in Houston. This week we sat down with Jonathan Beitler to talk about everything you can find at the Orange Show Center for Visionary Art. This is episode 98, with an original air date of Monday, July 28, 2024. And now your host, Blanca Quezada.
Houston has many amazing things to do and incredible and interesting places to see during the summer and even throughout the year. But there's one place I recommend that you should visit if you haven't, and you should go at least once. But once you go there, you're going to want to keep going. And that's the Orange Show Center for Visionary Arts. This is a very unique art center that offers a different art experience, something that you're not expecting. You just have to see it and experience it. And it's mostly known for its car show parade and festival, but there's more to it. So we're going to get to find out more. But, I could tell you a lot, but instead I've invited Jonathan. Ooh, Jonathan, I hope I don't mispronounce your last name. Beitler?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it right. So Jonathan Beitler is the Director of Communication and Special Events for the Orange Show Center for Visionary Art. So welcome to the show, Jonathan.
Thanks, Blanca.
I'm so happy you're here. It's been a while since I've talked to you and a lot of things have been going on. So one of the interesting things that I found out is that you're expanding.
Yeah, we are. We have not really made it official. We've let the community know of our plans to expand our campus. So we're still in the raising money process, which takes a little bit of time if anyone's familiar with raising money with a nonprofit. But yeah, we are really excited. We have an amazing campus just off of the Telephone Road exit on 45 South. It incorporates the historic Orange Show Monument. It's part of Smither Park, which many people are familiar with now, and our campus is adjacent to it. So we're in the process of putting together the plans to expand the campus, create some new buildings, and really provide a world-class center for the appreciation and understanding of outsider and folk art, where we can do some incredible things, have major events, have beautiful green spaces for people to come and bring their families. And then we're also right on Brays Bayou. Many people don't know that. We're right on the Bayou Brumé Trail of Brays Bayou too. So we have access to 45 and to the Bayou Trail, which is incredible. So yeah, all those plans are in the works and we'll be making some major announcements soon.
Great. I can't wait.
Yeah.
And Houston is an artist community. We have a huge number of artists here that, of course, specialize in different types of art, right? And so the Orange Show is the best place for an artist to be and to go to, right?
Oh, well, we think so.
Yeah, I think so too, because they can get creative as they want there. And yeah. And, it has, to me, the Orange Show has an amazing history. And it's been around since 1984, right?
Yeah, well, 1982, actually. We're celebrating our 43rd year this year. Yeah, and we do have a really rich history and, really came about at the time in Houston when many other arts organizations were also being developed, and the city was really recognizing its cultural and artistic talents. So yeah, I mean, we're over 4 decades old, and continuing to grow and continuing to expand as the city does diversify our audiences and really, provide a space for people to come and fulfill our mission, when our mission is to celebrate the artist and everyone. It's really our purpose is to provide opportunities for people to express their personal creativity through art, through understanding, and do it in a way that's all inclusive and really doesn't provide any barriers for people. So we invite anybody to come to our campus and really see what we have going on.
And who started it?
Well, so the Orange Show, our organization, was founded initially as a way to preserve the Orange Show Monument. We call it the Orange Show Monument. It is a piece of idiosyncratic folk art. There are many like it around the world. Nothing like the Orange Show, but there's many pieces of this type of art around the world. Ours is very special because it's right here in the middle of the city. It was built by one man. His name was Jeff McKissick, over about 30 years. He built it by himself out of found pieces, materials that he kind of collected throughout his travels and throughout the city. And he did it as a tribute to his favorite fruit, the orange. There's many myths about why he made the Orange Show, but he truly did believe that oranges, the fruits, were a very important part of should be a very important part of people's lives. They led to good health and longevity. And he wrote a book about that, and it was called How to Live 100 and Still Be Spry, which we sell in our gift shop. But he really did, he was really interested in the process that the nutrients play in our bodies and and the history of that, and how nutrients have played a part in the growth of the earth and all animals and living life. So, you can walk through the Orange Show Monument, and you kind of see these little dioramas and information that he had in his head about why oranges were important. But needless to say, he did not live to be 100, and he opened up the Orange Show in 1980 to the public, really thinking that it was going to be an attraction that would have more people come to it than Disneyland. He really was set to bring in the crowds, and unfortunately, that didn't really come to pass. And so he ended up passing away almost maybe 6 months after he opened it up. I know, it's unfortunate. But what is fortunate is that while he was building it, he befriended some important arts patrons in town who recognized the importance of what he was doing, would bring down other friends of theirs, and started to kind of make a name for himself in the arts world. And one of those people was Marilyn Oshman. Famously, her family owned Oshman Sporting Goods, which was a chain of sporting goods here in Houston for a very long time. And she would bring down people like Dominique de Menil, members of ZZ Top, to come and see the Orange Show while he was building it. But before he passed, he cataloged his life very much. And he left a lot of records, which we have. But sitting on his desk in his home, which was just across the street from the Orange Show, he left a note that said, "Should anything happen to me, contact Marilyn Oshman. She'll know what to do with the Orange Show." So luckily, his brother, I believe, had come down after he passed, saw the note, contacted Marilyn, and she was able to get together 20 or so of her friends and colleagues. They all pulled together money and then purchased the property that the Orange Show sits on, and from that developed a foundation with the purpose of preserving the Orange Show in perpetuity. And luckily, that organization grew, and a board was formed, and employees were hired. And through the years, we took on becoming the producers of the Art Car Parade, which everyone knows. We purchased the Beer Can House, in the early 2000s, and that is still around, and we maintain it, and we have visitors come to the beer can house. And then we built Smither Park, which is just adjacent to the Orange Show, a beautiful art park, all designed out of mosaic art, built by over 200 artists from around the country. And so we continue that legacy that Marilyn started. We continue this mission of wanting to celebrate the artist and everyone, because, Jeff McKissick, who built the Orange Show, he wasn't an artist. He was a retired postal worker, but he had a dream, and he wanted to do it. He wanted to make it with his own hands. And he did. Same thing with the beer can house. The man, John Milkovich, who designed the beer can house, he was an artist. He was an upholsterer for the Union Pacific Railroad, but he had it in him that he had to do something. And so, we really carry that mentality and that mission on with all of our programs that we do, recognizing the idea that there's an artist in all of us, and you can experience that.
Yeah, Jeff was a visionary for sure.
Definitely.
He knew what this place was going to turn to in the future, right?
Well, I think we try to do things at the Orange Show, keeping him in mind. We're very lucky, too, that we just recently received a very prestigious grant from the National Park Service in collaboration with the National Endowment for the Arts, called Save America's Treasures. And it's allowing us, they give us $500,000. We're matching it with another $500,000. It's allowing us to really make the important preservation of the monument so that it can, continue to be the cultural gem in Houston. Because, like I mentioned before, Jeff was not an artist, but not only was he not an artist, he wasn't a builder, and he wasn't an architect. So he built the Orange Show with no foundation, with no real sense of, how to build a structure to make it last, especially in Houston's climate and the weather that we have here. So we are really excited to be able to address some of those issues and preserve.
But look what it's turned into, this amazing place, this amazing, for me, very unique place. Very unique.
Definitely. I mean, we have, it's really exciting to see the faces of visitors that have come for the first time, and they don't know what to expect, especially if we're having an event inside of the monument. They don't know what to expect, and then you just see their faces light up and, really find joy in being in such an interesting and unique space. It's very inspiring for a lot of people.
Yeah. Is this a space where kids can go to?
Yeah, absolutely. Right now we have the Orange Show monument, the historic monument, closed because of our preservation work, and we have it closed through probably this time next summer. Honestly, it's a pretty extensive amount of our restoration that we're doing. But right next door is Smither Park. It is a absolutely kid and family friendly place to be, and we have families celebrating birthdays, getting their graduation photos and quinceañera photos done, where we have a lot of people that come visit Smither Park, because it's one of those other spaces in Houston that's just, you don't see it anywhere else. It's absolutely unique, and because it's been built by the community for the community, we keep that in mind with everything we do.
You can go out there and just sit and meditate too, right?
We actually have a meditation wall as part of the Smither Park, where you can come and do just that. Great.
You mentioned the beer can house. What is the story behind that, besides the gentleman that created it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the beer can house, it's in Rice Military, which, was at the time that he lived there, John Milkovich, was just a bunch of bungalows, small 2-bedroom bungalows lining the street off, basically Rice Military is off Washington Avenue between Memorial and Washington. And they lived a normal middle-class life. He was an upholsterer for the Union Pacific Railroad, so he was really good with his hands. And sometime before he retired, along the way, he started collecting beer cans. No one really knows why, but he would keep them in the attic or he'd keep them in the garage, and he collected them. And his wife, in later interviews said, he always knew he was going to do something with them, he just didn't know what. But when he retired, kind of some people believe it was as a way to maybe reduce energy bills. Others just think that he was bored and, did it because of it. But he basically clad his entire house with aluminum cans that he painstakingly, because we've tried to recreate some of the things that he's done, but very painstakingly cut precisely, and then basically created outer wall, an outer facade. And he used every piece of the beer can to do that too, from the tops to the bottoms to the tabs. He created these beautiful garlands that hang from the eaves. He got tired of having to mow the lawn, so he got rid of all of the lawn, and he covered it in rocks and marbles. There's these beautiful ornate marble kind of inlays throughout the yard. He made all of his fences he made out of beer cans. They estimate that there's about 50,000 beer cans that he used on the house itself. Yeah, it's a lot. And then, of course,
Yeah, it's a very interesting place. Very
it really
interesting.
is, yeah. It shows you in the same way that the Orange Show is interesting and is a kind of place. This is also a place that shows you, what one person can do when they just have an inclination to do it.
Yeah. Well, besides the structures, I know that the Orange Show has classes and programs that people can attend.
Yeah, absolutely. We have year-round classes and workshops. We have some standard ones that we do. We do welding workshops that can teach you the intros and basics of welding. Plus, we offer an art of welding class to help you learn how to weld metals for art, for sculptures. We do one that's called Welding for the Home, that's a little more practical. Like if you wanted to create a steel planter box or something to go at your house. We offer mosaic classes taught by mosaic experts, many of whom have produced art in Smither Park. And those classes are hot tickets. They sell out real quick. We're one of the few places in town that offers that kind of mosaic class structure. And we offer interesting classes about how to custom make your own LED lighting systems. LED lights and that kind of digital art has become really popular and affordable, honestly. So a lot of people are doing it. So those classes are very popular. And then we have a bunch of one-off classes that we do throughout the year. We have a class coming up that's going to show people how to do really interesting tie-dye. And we'll do, traditional Mexican art. Well, we have a lot of classes throughout the year that people can attend. And of course, we have an ongoing series of what we call visionary performances. We'll bring in artists and performers from around the country to come and perform on our campus, usually involving a workshop, a hands-on workshop as well. So we have a lot of opportunities for people to really experience interesting, different types of art that they're not going to find anywhere else, and also be a part of it too.
You also have films and people that come in and talk about art.
Yeah, we really try to allow any participant, any guest, I should say, the opportunity to learn while they're experiencing. So whether that's through workshops or lectures, we want people to kind of feel that they are going home learning something that they wouldn't have if they hadn't come. So yeah, we have a lot going on, and we also have right now up through November, our 2024 artist in residence is David Best. He is a very well-known artist. If anybody has seen photos of these beautiful wooden temples that get built at Burning Man, get built and then burned at Burning Man, he's the artist who leads those teams. And
they're gorgeous.
They are gorgeous, yeah. And we commissioned him to build a temple here in Houston on our campus. He built it as a dedication to some key members of Houston's creative community who have recently passed. But it's a temple that is open for anybody to come and grieve, to remember, to reflect. It was built by close to 300 volunteers that we had this past spring. Many of them.
and it's non-denominational, right?
Correct. It's non-denominational. It's for anybody, and it's really a place where you can come and remember. We offer and we encourage people to leave notes in the temple. We have these little altars with small little wooden panels that you can take one, write a memory, even just write a loved one's name, and then you can insert it into the temple structure. And the purpose of it is that it's a piece of temporary art. We will burn the structure in November, and that the purpose behind that is to release that energy and release the trauma that is being placed into the temple right now. So it's really a powerful place and a beautiful way to remember a loved one if you come and visit.
And he's created these temples all over the world, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's done them. Yeah, all over the place. He's done some in the UK, New Zealand, I believe, and then in different states here in the US. Often after a tragedy, he did a temple in Florida for the Parkland shootings that happened a few years ago. And so he travels around doing this, but a lot of his primary focus is creating the art at Burning Man and being a mentor for those artists there too.
Yeah, and they're all different, beautiful designs.
Yeah, they're all custom. They are all built site specific. We had him and his team come from California to build the temple. So there was 10 of them, I believe, that came. They spent 3 weeks here building. We had an idea of what they were going to build beforehand, but once they got onto site and started constructing, it grew from what was initially going to happen. And it was really beautiful to see their process, to work with the community members also to build. That's one of the key components of their build is they rely on community, on volunteers to assist with the build. It's also a teaching tool, and it's something that people can be proud of once it's finished, And so we worked with members of the neurodivergent community. We worked specifically with the Hub Houston, great school, and had a bunch of their students come out and help to create some of the pieces. We worked with some juvenile probation kids that are part of the Harris County Juvenile Probation Department. They came and helped. And then, of course, we had just hundreds of artists and community members that helped to build it. So it was really, really cool project.
Yeah, I like all the intricate designs that were created. Mm-hmm. And also at night with it lit, it gives you this peaceful feeling,
Yeah, that's its purpose. You want to come and feel moved while you're there. It is beautiful to look at. We're so grateful that Hurricane Beryl didn't do any damage to it. So it's still there, and it's up through November 9th. We have public visiting hours every Thursday evening for people to come. It's free, of course, to come and visit. So all of that information.
Why is it only on Thursdays?
Well, we have a very small staff here at the Orange Show and a very large campus. So when you have a small staff and a large campus, sometimes it's difficult to do things every day. But Thursdays seem to be a great opportunity for us to not only have it open to the public, but oftentimes we'll have a special theme or we'll program it. People can arrange to come and maybe perform. And then as we get into the fall and the weather gets a little bit better, let's hope, we will be programming the temple more with some local performances, with some specific vigils that are going to be planned for certain members of Houston's creative community. And then ultimately this all leads up to when we'll burn it on November 9th is the date that we have planned to do a burning of the temple.
Is that going to be in the evening or during the day?
Yeah, it'll probably be in the evening. The plans aren't completely finalized just yet. We're still working through some permits, but there will be some sort of burning of the temple that'll take place on that day. with some special events leading up to it and some programming, and we'll announce all of that.
Since you mentioned that your staff is very small, are you in need of volunteers?
We're always in need of volunteers, and we rely so heavily on volunteers for our car parade. We have about 300 volunteers that work with us on the parade.
Yeah.
And we love volunteers. The organization was founded on volunteers. So of course the more the merrier.
Yeah. And of course you accept donations.
Of course we accept donations. We do. We're actually going to be launching a new annual fund campaign in the next couple of weeks. And people can join our annual fund and get access to special artist events and different sort of parties that we're going to be planning that kind of give a glimpse in behind the scenes, and so all of that information will be on our website soon.
What is your website?
It's www.orangeshow.org.
And do you have a phone number?
Yeah, it's 713-926-6368.
Yeah, and you have a whole lot more that we didn't talk about going on.
Yeah.
For example, your great tours, that you have some really fun tours, and you have Splash Dance coming up.
We have Splash Dance is the last Saturday of every month through August. And then one thing I did want to say is that we're bringing back a really fun program that we used to do back in the early 90s. It's called Animal Rhapsody, and it'll be on September 7th. And it is basically a pet talent show. And people can apply to have their pet participate in Animal Rhapsody. It could be maybe they look cute in a costume, maybe they have a special talent, that they want to show off, and then we'll have this animal talent show, and then we have the band, the My Dolls, will be performing as well. So that'll all be announced shortly on our website.
And we can find all that information, plus all the workshops and the classes, all on your website.
That's correct. Yeah.
With a lot more details.
And we encourage everyone to follow us on Instagram. We have a great Instagram account, and we're constantly posting stuff and really, really cool videos. So it's at The Orange Show.
Right. And right now you only have one location open?
We have the Beer Can House and Smither Park are both open. And then our campus is open every Thursday. So you can come to see the temple, visit our campus. And then, of course, our whole campus is open whenever we do special events here.
Great. Well, Jonathan, thank you so much for joining me and informing me, or basically us, everything that we can enjoy at the Orange Show for Visionary Art, which is a very unique place and also very interesting to me. But so I'm so glad that you were able to find the time to join us. And of course, thank you all as well for joining me for this edition of Spotlight Houston. And if you have any comments, please let us know. Or if you have any shows ideas, please contact us.
Hello, everyone. I'm Gabby, your AI host. Today's episode was a treasure trove of fascinating information. We delved into the unique world of Houston's Orange Show Center for Visionary Art, home to the Art Car Parade and the stunning Houston Temple by David Best. We hope you found these insights both inspiring and entertaining. For more information on the Orange Show Center for Visionary Art, visit www.orangeshow.org or call 713-926-6368. To learn more about artist David Best and the Houston Temple, visit www.full.orangeshow.org/DavidBest. Remember, we're here for you every Monday with fresh, exciting episodes. Join us at Spotlight Houston each week for more stories that capture the vibrant energy and spirit of our city. Do you have an idea or feedback for us? We're all ears. Follow us on social media and leave us a rating or a review on your favorite podcatcher. Spotlight Houston is a production of Story Zone Media. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.